All right, how's it going? I got another video for you. Basically, this one is some stimulus checks are being sent to the wrong accounts. The bank account number is not even close. Yeah, it sucks. So let's get into this. The IRS says they have delivered the stimulus checks to many that qualify. However, banks beg to differ. USA Today, and this is on the Cincinnati.com, which I guess is part of USA Today network, or the Cincinnati Enquirer. Americans are confused about what happened to the stimulus check deposits that were supposed to show up in their bank accounts on Wednesday. So maybe this is something that happened to you if you haven't received your bank account yet. I'll probably get into it. That maybe if you had set up direct deposit, in previous tax years and you changed your checking account or your bank, they may not have the correct information to have it. So the Treasury Department and the Internal Revenue Service launched the Get My Payment web application on people to track their payment, which was hit with early glitches at the time of launch. I know also I have a family member, or I have like family members that are like, they get the SSI and they hadn't received their payment yet. And I actually went in to look on that because you can go in there to set up direct deposit, or you can go in and see when your available payment is supposed to arrive or come or hit or whatever. But if you have Social Security disability, VA disability, I think railroad retirement account, all that stuff, you can't set it up through that web portal. And your expected payment date is going to be like late April, early May, from what the IRS website said. About 80 million people were to receive the deposit this week, the Treasury Department said on Monday. But Wednesday, many people expressed concern when the government website said the cash up to $1,200 a person was sent to a bank account that didn't seem to belong to them. The events unfold in a similar manner for several of the people who reached out to the IRS via Twitter. They would submit their contact information into the government's payout tracking portal, and the results would show that the money was scheduled to be deposited April 15th, but the digits didn't match a bank account people were familiar with. That would suck too if it went into somebody else's checking account, and you know how the government is. If they like pay out and say they pay out, even though if it paid to the wrong person, I'm like, well, we paid out the money. You're just kind of screwed at that point. I was so confused, said, was it Amy? Amy Sedina, 23. I don't know where they got that number from. The warehouse worker in Ontario, California, planned to use the check to cover bills. I lost 2 weeks of pay because I was sick. I was depending on that for my car payment. The IRS portal said that if you don't see the payment credited to your account, check with your bank to verify it was received. It also gave the last 4 digits of the bank account number associated with the deposit. It's unclear how many people this happened to, though many reached out to the IRS on Twitter to get answers, which that seems like a weird way to get a hold of the IRS, but I'm not sure if there's a better way, whether you like contact them through the website or give them a call. But if there are other ways, I'm sure the IRS, just like the unemployment office, is probably like swamped beyond all belief now with all these inquiries coming in. Because kind of a side note, but like this is the 4th week that we've had like massive unemployment, and it was just 5.5 was added this week, a total of 22 million in the last 4 weeks, and like a total of 29 million altogether. So unemployment is sitting at around 18% right now, which is, it's terrible. It's horrible. IRS spokeswoman Jody Reynolds told USA Today that she hadn't heard anything about stimulus checks being deposited into the wrong bank account and would look into the matter. Thomas Crampon, 25, in New York City, planned on using some of the money to cover rent As soon as this deposit information popped up on his website, he freaked out. Once I pressed submit, the account number that they listed didn't match any of mine. I called my bank, and there was nothing they could do. There was no connection to my account, Crappen said. Chris Rodriguez, a contractor in Lansing, Michigan, which I just did a video yesterday, a little off subject, but they had massive gridlock protests in Lansing, Michigan to protest their stay-at-home orders, which is some of the most restrictive in the country, so you can look that up if you're curious about that. Has used the same bank account for almost a decade, so you know straight away that the numbers didn't add up. You're jubilant because you've been waiting to get the money, and you look down and the bank account number is not even close, Rodriguez said, because the IRS isn't taking calls. I'm more or less dead in the water. So I guess that answers the whole... Maybe that's why people are trying to contact him via Twitter and not really through phone calls, which sucks. Reynolds said people should contact their bank if they think the checks were deposited into the wrong bank account. She said people can also check the status of their stimulus check at this website here. The Get My Payment portal part of the IRS website. If checks are sent to bank accounts that don't match the name of the person who is supposed to receive the money, the check should be rejected by the bank and returned to the IRS, according to Reynolds. The payment isn't going to bounce back and just sit there, Reynolds said. We will turn around and cut them a paper check and make sure they get their money. Reynolds said people can update their bank account with the IRS online before checks are scheduled to be sent, and the IRS will be sending out notices telling folks the status of their payment. I have heard, I don't know if I can pull up an article or not, but I have heard that somebody was saying that their deceased father received a payment. So a lot of this is because it's still going off previous tax returns. So if someone had passed, I guess in the last year or so, they could technically still receive one, which is weird. Contact the IRS, report the problem. Douglas Johnson Jr., a finance and banking consultant based in Santa Monica, California, said taxpayers who think their checks were sent to the wrong bank account should contact the IRS through the agency's website and report the problem. It's going to be up to the IRS to track down whether it went to the wrong account or not, Johnson said, but the obligation to the taxpayer is not to find out what wrong recipient it went to. You simply would go to the IRS and say, hey, I didn't get my money. You guys made a mistake. Here's the correct information. Please send me the right money. That would be the logical way to solve it. Ant Amonte, a professor of finance and economics at the Stanford Graduate School of Business, said the matter will come down to government accountability. Which, if you know anything about government, they're not great at accountability. It's a massive operation, and let's hope they know what they're doing since people need that money. Matty said. I'm not sure he said that. So that was the end of that. So if you haven't received your stimulus check and you were expecting it because you made an income of less than $75,000 as an individual, there is this. You can go to the IRS website and check to see if possibly it is coming. But like I said earlier, I had looked into it because I had people asking about the SSI, and apparently you can't use that website or web portal, the Get My Payment, to check up for the SSI, the VA disability, the railroad retirement accounts and stuff like that. So this whole thing kind of sucks, especially if you're going to pay bills or pay rent or anything like that. Although I have seen an influx of people buying TVs, which I'm guessing is because of the stimulus check, which is kind of make of it what you want. I seen this. It was a trashy looking couple. Is all I can say. They look trashy, but rolling out of Walmart with two 4K 50-inch TVs. I've seen somebody out here actually driving with a small car with the back end open, and they had a 65-inch 4K TV. I mean, if you're going to spend it on that, I mean, that's fine, but it's just kind of, because I believe back in 2008 when they did a stimulus check, there's a bunch of people buying TVs. Although TVs are a lot cheaper now than they were, you know, over a decade ago. But it's still kind of funny that people will buy that. I'm still using the same one for probably 10 or 11 years. I'll get another one when it goes bad. I mean, that's way off subject, though. I guess I should be. That's way off subject. But, green screen. But, yeah, tell me what you think. I mean, I received mine the other day, actually on the 15th, when a majority of people did. So, yeah, maybe if you didn't, yours could be mixed up. But, just tell me what you... I guess if you received yours yet or not. I'm tired right now. If you like this, you can give me a like. If you really liked it, you can subscribe. Or on YouTube, on Facebook, you can give a like and a follow. And that's it for this video. I got a couple more I'm working on. So, all right. Peace.